Welcome to the January 8th, 2024 Grafton Board of Health meeting. As a preliminary matter, this is Jennifer Maynard, Vice Chair of the Board of Health. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Dan Finn?
Dan Finn, aye. We're here.
Nope, not Austin Magnet. Bill Muller.
Bill Muller here.
Thank you. Staff and anticipated speakers on the agenda. When I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Nancy Connors? I see her and I know she can hear me. Let's see. Karina Scott?
Hello.
Hello, welcome. Ian Wong?
Here.
Thank you. Devon Thornton?
Here.
Did I do it right?
You did. Thank you.
I did. All right. Thank you. All right. I don't know that we're expecting anybody else. As Dan said, we have a smaller group today.
If I can add, like, Amelia's trying to get on. She's
okay.
texting, so she's going to pop in at some point. She's trying to call in.
Perfect. Thank you. I'll keep an eye out on the participants. Oh, there might be more. There's call. Oh, here's Amelia. Amelia, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. Sorry,
Okay.
you
Can't see me, correct? I assume.
No, we cannot see you.
It's always something.
Nancy, is that, if you can text me if that's you dialed in as call-in user, I can allow you to talk. Technology, still fun. All right. I would like to open the meeting. Can I get a motion to open the meeting?
Yep, this is Dan Finn. I'd like to make a motion to open this meeting.
All right, second.
Bill Muller, I'll second that motion.
Thank you. All in favor, please respond.
Dan Finn, aye.
Bill Muller, aye.
Ben Maynard, aye. And Nancy should be able to talk to us now. Okay. So then we'll go through. Good evening. This meeting of the Grafton Board of Health is being conducted remotely, consistent with the Act extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency. This act includes an extension until March 31st, 2025 of the remote meeting provisions of former Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 executive order, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, the act extends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of the public bodies are allowed to participate remotely. The order, which can be found posted to the town's website at www.grafton-mass.gov, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. There are no public hearings scheduled for this evening's meeting. If the public has any questions or comments on an agenda item, please utilize the Q&A feature in Zoom. Please include your full name and address when submitting a comment. For this meeting, Grafton Board of Health is convening by video conference via Zoom as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you and to take care not to share your screen of your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Meeting materials, any supporting materials that have been provided to the members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I otherwise note. And meeting business grounds, before we turn to the first item on the agenda, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I'll introduce any speakers of the agenda for a topic. After they conclude their remarks, I'll invite the board members to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please identify yourself by name when speaking. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until I yield the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage with other members, please do so through me, taking care to identify yourself. Finally, any votes on any motions made during this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. All right. That is that. Let's see. I will invite our friends at the Alliance to provide their update. Nancy did send us over any inspections and things like that. Who would like to start from the Alliance? Go ahead, Karina.
Hello, my name is Karina Scott. I'm the Shared Service Coordinator for the Alliance. So I'm just going to give two quick updates. First is tomorrow we'll be meeting our third meeting for the Grafton Opioid Subcommittee. We have, I did share the agenda earlier. Part of the agenda will be discussing the year's past at-risk youth survey with an emphasis on looking at substance use or mental health, specifically since it's related to the subcommittee subject of opioids. We'll be also talking a little bit about the Worcester Opioid Task Force and what they're currently doing, just to give an idea of there. And also, trying to think of my agenda. We are talking, you'll be meeting a couple staff members from the Alliance, well, from Worcester Public Health, who are doing some work in Grafton with prevention and other subjects such as alcohol, tobacco, and cannabis. So they just wanted to tell you who they are and tell you a little bit about the work that they'll be doing. So you get to meet them as well. And also we'll be talking about a date to set for a Narcan community training for sometime in February or March. And we can talk about locations. I already reached out to the trainer and she's open. She's just waiting to hear back for a couple, like 3 dates, and then she can see where she fits in. Any questions about that?
Dan or Bill, anything from you?
Yeah, thanks, Karina. Just, is there another conflict with a meeting again or no? Like a public health meeting tomorrow? No.
I didn't think so. I
Okay.
didn't get alerted with one.
Okay. No, we should be all set. So it's 3:30 at the Grafton Police Station, correct?
Yes, this will be our first time in person. I
Great.
think that I get to meet some of you guys, though.
In the training room. Thanks.
Correct.
Excellent. Bill?
Yeah, I don't have anything to add. I've been trying to track down a little bit about what the protocol is when people who have substance abuse issues are seen in the emergency room. It looks like, one of the issues that we had spoken about before was when we spoke to the person who presented at the Uxbridge Police Department. The issue came up that, most of our people who go to the emergency room go to Worcester emergency rooms and not to Milford. I've had a couple of conversations with the director of social service in Milford about what she knows about what UMass does, since I know her and I don't really know the people in the ER at UMass. She believes that actually they refer them either to Spectrum or to Riverside. And I think they may refer some people to the person that we had talked to at that Uxbridge meeting as well. But I hope to have a little bit more information before tomorrow's meeting.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Karina.
And then the second part of my update is I hope everyone received an email about an equity training that is happening. It will be hosted at the Worcester Department of Public Health building at 25 Mead Street. It's 3 sessions, and then there'll be 2 cohorts presented. This is brought by the PHE grant that I'm coordinating for, and it's to further equity trainings and just start the conversations in our alliance. It doesn't have to be municipal staff. It could be Board of Health members. It could be leaders of the community that you think might be appropriate for this as well. So feel free to let me know who I need to reach out to as well. So far, I think we have 1 or 2 folks from Grafton signed up, but I want to increase the number. And I believe the first session is in person and the last 2 are remote. And then, and it begins on the 17th of January. And that's it.
Great. Thank you. Devon, any updates from you?
Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. Updates as far as inspections. For food establishments, there were 11 inspections done. 1 inspection was a complaint. Was a complaint that occurred New Year's Eve at Pearl's Cafe. A customer complained about finding a stapler in their lo mein. I went to speak with the owner. He discussed with me that it was a possibility that could have happened because he usually staples the bags together. So it's possible the customer just pulled the bag apart. So it wasn't purposeful. The customer received full refund for their entire meal. So that was taken care of. There was there's not many pools in Grafton, the spa inspection at Oasis. Other than that, there's been maybe 1 or 2 complaints that are being addressed. And other than that, everything's going well. Any questions?
Dan?
Hi,
Yes, sir.
Devon, this is Dan.
Yes, sir.
Were there any other outstanding issues with the other food inspections? Any problems?
As far as I remember, no.
Okay.
No,
And then,
as far as, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. And then regarding a complaint about mold, I'd be surprised if over a few days mold could materialize. But apparently there was not even dampness in that particular situation.
And this was at the property at
let me see. It was on Providence Road, Unit 1, 285.
285 Providence. Yes, I went through the entire basement. I was actually surprised there wasn't any dampness. I think it's maybe a stone cellar. It's possible.
Field stone.
Yeah, field stone cellar. No dampness at all, really. I was surprised at how dry it actually was. I was actually surprised not to even find any mold. There's a series of sump pumps in the basement for each unit. I went through the entire basement. There was no smell of mildew or dampness at all. I can go back and maybe check again, but I was actually really surprised at the amount of water that she said got into the basement, that there wasn't a lot of dampness or any signs of mold or mildew at all.
Right. Yeah, I think fieldstone foundations typically have some moisture, but a lot of people, including myself and a couple of my clients, had a few inches of water after that storm, and they never have in 20 years or something. So it was like, the storm was like biblical proportions, and hopefully this Wednesday we don't run into that again. And then lastly, I just want to thank you for signing over 100 permits for us. Right?
You're welcome.
62 food alone. So thank you.
You're welcome. My signature is getting better.
I don't think we can complain at all. You did all those. Thank you for that. That's right.
You're welcome.
Bill and I are fortunate that we came to the Board of Health after the hand signature, wet signature is needed. So we've been spoiled. That's great. Thank you. Amelia, any updates?
Yes, thank you, Jen. This is Amelia Houghton. I just have a few quick updates from the nursing team. So as of this month, one of my staff members, Molly, also known as Melissa, she is going to the senior center and to the housing authority to conduct blood pressure screenings, as well as help any resident or any senior fill out file of life cards. So that is now January onward. Last month at the senior center, when she went to do a blood pressure screening, she had 13 participants, which is pretty good. At the housing authority, it was a little low, but I think with introducing the file of life card service, I think the numbers will increase. In terms of communicable disease investigation, mainly flu and COVID were the culprits. The numbers were not sky high. As we know, those are numbers that are reported. So obviously, if you test for COVID at home and it's not reported to the state, it doesn't trickle down into our data. Also, Grafton had a shingles clinic back in October, and the return date, part 2 of that, is this month, January 26th, at the senior center. And we are working with the pharmacist who is returning for round 2 of those shots to inform them. Also, one more thing, next month, I'm going to introduce you to Sarah Harris. She's my new deputy chief of nursing, and will be getting her feet wet into participating in the Board of Health meetings. So I think that will that'll be good for you and good for her. And if ever she can't make it, I will step in. So we will have your updates covered. So I can't wait for you to meet her next month. And that is it for the nursing update. I've sent Nancy the topic of the month for January. It has to do with behavioral health, and there are some phone numbers and links on there. And if the format isn't something that you can post, let me know, and we can change it. And that's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Amelia. Do you remember about how many shingles vaccines did we give the first round?
Very few. Hang on. Let's see. Well, I shouldn't say few. There's 1 RSV and 12 shingles.
Oh, that's good.
So that's a good number, actually.
Yeah.
The RSV is low, and anyone who received the shingles can also get the RSV shot from her.
Oh, good. When they come back around.
And they come back around. If we're determining that there's more interest, then we'll pick this up again.
Great. Go ahead, Dan.
Okay.
Amelia, this is Dan. And you mentioned the file of life. I haven't been involved in that for some time. I think it used to be called a vial of life, and it was something that was attached to the refrigerator door. And it's, a history, obviously, of their medications and medical conditions, allergies and stuff. Is Now, is it a paper thing that might be in a plastic? What is it actually?
Well, yes, so what you remember in the red sleeve, in the red
Right.
plastic sleeve that you can stick to your refrigerator, that is what we are helping them to fill out.
It's the
Because
same thing.
it's the
Okay.
same thing. We want them to be able to have it on their refrigerator, easy access. If something happens and you need to reach for your information, you're not
Right.
going to fumble through your wallet if you can't speak.
Right, or if the
So
emergency folks come in, they know where it is.
they know where it is. You can point, or they'll. It's obvious they can see that on the refrigerator.
Great.
So we're sticking with the red plastic backing and clear plastic front.
Great, thank you.
Do they include their advanced directives in that? Some folks have a most form usually in their home. Is that included in the file?
I think there's some questions regarding that, but I think, certainly we could maybe look into how to attach that information. I suppose you could have that on a separate piece of paper. I can have Molly generate something to add to it.
It's usually a separate document that a physician signs off on, so that if their wishes to not have CPR or things like that. Go ahead, Bill.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's commonly referred to as a MOLST form, medical orders regarding life-sustaining treatment. And I think it is customarily also affixed to the refrigerator.
Yes.
But I think it's separate, and I don't think it would fit in with the other. But I think it's very important. We try to make sure that people make their wishes known. And
I
have a lot of room for improvement because it's something that often is not filled out.
Yes, there are questions regarding next of kin and that sort of thing in the file of life card.
Yeah.
If we determine that we need more information in there, we'll bring this up again, and maybe we could look at a different type of card. But I am pretty sure that there's quite a bit of information on there.
Yeah, the MOLST form, though, is really actually a doctor's order. It has a physician's signature on it, and it has the weight of an order. It's not always executed in the way it was documented, but it's certainly something that people should have, particularly people who have really advanced problems where they could end up on ventilators or other sorts of advanced treatment.
Oh, Bill, excuse me, is it a DNR?
Well, it does ask about whether, in fact, someone wants to have cardiac resuscitation. It also asks whether you want to be on a ventilator,
intubation,
or whether you want to have artificial feeding. It's fairly comprehensive, but it used to be that we'd have to sign just a DNR order on a prescription pad, and it had to be done every 30 days. And this, took the place of that, and I think has made it easier.
Well, we'll definitely include those questions when we help seniors fill out these cards, and make sure that they understand what all this terminology is and what all the paperwork is, and to have it nearby in one common place.
Yeah, it's a great I think it's awesome that you folks are doing that work. As Bill said, it can be very difficult to make sure, unless they're otherwise engaged with a healthcare provider that comes out to their home. Sometimes folks don't realize that those things are available to them, and they might have very specific wishes, and paramedics and EMTs, have to as Bill said, do everything if they don't have something that tells them that a doctor has signed off and that's the person's wishes. So I think it's great work. It's certainly something I think those of us that have been community-based providers,
Yes.
it's very, very close to us. And it's great work that you're doing. That's great to hear. Go ahead,
Good.
Corinne.
Thank
So
you.
the ones I just ordered, Amelia, I made a bulk order for all the clinics in the region that we're serving.
Okay.
Because they're also becoming hard to find.
Sure.
So I did order a couple. I just looked at the order. It looks like it doesn't have any information about resuscitation or anything like that, or proxy, but it does have an emergency contact. So just FYI.
Okay, thank you. And it's the red ones, right?
Yep, with the little red pouches. It's from the actual Vial of Life
Vial
company,
of Life. Okay.
the legitimate ones.
And the
That's
most form is pink.
Yes.
Yeah.
Provided it hasn't been copied multiple times onto white paper, it's usually pink, so it stands
Right,
out. But
right,
just,
right.
I think maybe some of the narrative is, do you have any other forms that say what your wishes are on your fridge? Put these things all together so that when the EMTs or paramedics come, they can find everything, and they might not have much time to look at anything, but hopefully somebody can grab it and follow suit on what the person's wishes are. Thank you,
Yes.
Karina.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Amelia. We certainly hope to, when Sarah comes on, still see your face, even though I can't see your face today on our meetings.
You will.
Great, very good. Ian, anything?
No, I can't think of anything. I think everyone gave a pretty good summary of what we're doing. Makes my
Absolutely.
job easy.
Ours too. Thank you. Just to sort of piggyback on going down our agenda here, to piggyback, sorry if I have background noise at my house. Piggyback on the update around COVID numbers. So we recently got an update that the grant allowing wastewater testing has been extended. And so in addition to tracking COVID-19 through the wastewater, they are now able to track RSV and influenza and other viral pathogens. Of note, there certainly has been, I don't think it's surprising, but there has been a pretty steady increase in all of those since October. COVID related being threefold from prior numbers. I think this is kind of something in a steady state of what we've been talking about, that we anticipate around the fall and winter months to see an increase in COVID numbers, as well as other respiratory infections as we have in the past. So there has been an extension. I'm not sure how far that extension goes, but we still can get some of that data through the wastewater. Bill, Dan, anything to add on that?
Do we know what percentage of Graftonites are on the sewer system?
Oh, that's it. Dan, do you know that answer? You know that answer better than I. It's a good point. Because there are still.
I know there are significant parts of town that are not. But...
True.
Right. I'm gonna take a wild guess at 60 or 65% probably do have municipal sewer. But those of us out here in the sticks do not.
Yeah, in the country.
Yeah.
Right. Country road.
That's a good point. I forget about that piece, even though you all are doing inspections for us of that as well. That is another kind of group, not necessarily accounted for unless they're calling. Okay.
Sorry, just to add to that, there's also a COVID-19 dashboard on the mass.gov that you guys can go on to. It is through, you can look it up specifically for Grafton as well. It keeps track of per month or per year, and you can change, if you want to look at percentage of COVID cases, specifically numbers or rate of infection, etc. It's only reported cases as well. Obviously, if it's all related to Maven as well. So FYI, that's also available.
That's actually where the wastewater monitoring is actually valuable because it circumvents that, there are cases out there that are not reported,
Right.
that are confirmed by tests but are not reported.
Sure, sure. And somewhere in there lies the actual or close to the actual number, hopefully.
Right.
All right. And of course, we, continue to just recommend that folks take whatever precautions around winter months for staying healthy from any kind of respiratory or viral infections, including vaccination, staying home if you're sick, the usual things. We talked already a little bit on the opioid settlement funds and the next meeting coming up. Anything to add to that, Bill or Dan?
I don't think so. I think, again, we probably just need to decide philosophically what we want to spend the funds on. Certainly it's good to learn that there are educational programs and other things that are already in place, and the magnitude of the funds that we're talking about is significant, but it's not significant enough to make a kind of a new program. So
yeah. Go ahead.
And yeah, I just want to mention, Bill, tomorrow morning I have time. I may reach out to Dr. Steve Tosi,
yeah,
who's a retired urologist at UMass, and he's in a administrative position now. He might be medical director of UMass, I'm not sure, but just to see if we can get an answer as to who to contact as to
right.
where people are directed to once they leave the emergency room. So I'll
Yeah,
try to make
actually,
that
that's
call.
a good idea. I hadn't really thought of talking to Steve about
Yeah,
it.
he's a neighbor and lives in between us, I think. So.
Yes.
Thanks.
Mary from I can't remember her last name right now, from the city of Grafton. She actually had a meeting with a TA for the grant as well, early December. She just sent me the notes, and she's going to speak a little bit about the meeting as well, where the TA provided a couple of things that other municipalities have done and recommendations as well that I'm happy to share tomorrow as well. But like other municipalities, the money is significant, like you said, but not enough to start a program. So joining a region or joining with other municipalities to create a program that best fits for all their residents has been something that municipalities have been doing. It just takes a little bit of time. Just that is something that on the notes that I'm happy to share as well.
That are expanding what's already in existence.
Because
whenever we figure out what that is.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's also existing structures, but they're already taxed. So yes, sometimes, it might be great to join that already existing task force, but then if it's already too tasked, are your residents getting anything from it as well? So.
All right. Thank you all for your work on that. Our next item is to establish meeting dates for our May, June, and July meetings. We have a hybrid for February, March, and a remote for April. So I guess we can talk through here. My sense is that we would want June and July to be remote just because it's a little easier if people are traveling and things. And then maybe a hybrid for May, or we could try a hybrid for May if you guys think that's appropriate, and we could land on some dates here. What do you think? We'll try it. All right, so for May, if we did a hybrid approach, that was Monday, May 6th. The meeting is April 8th, so I think we have to have it before that, right? Before the full month. And then June 3rd. And July 1st. That way we're within the full 30. All All right, so hybrid for
Yep.
May. Oh, go ahead.
Jan, excuse me, what day of the week? Well, that would be a Monday, I guess, the first, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not too close to the 4th, right?
Yeah, no, that's a Thursday is the 4th.
Yeah.
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 All right, so we'll try for hybrid in May and remote June and July.
Yep.
Nancy, speak now or forever hold your peace. Or at least until our next meeting. Okay. Let's see. And then we have a list of meeting minutes. I'll call out which ones we cannot vote on due to those of us that were not in attendance or whatever other reason. But and hopefully you folks can tell me if you didn't see those or not, but for the most part, we have them. So first up is the meeting minutes from November 6th, 2023. Are there any recommended edits or a motion to approve the minutes as provided?
Yep, this is Dan. I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes of November 6th, 2023 as presented.
Second?
Bill Muller, I'd second that.
Roll call.
Dan Finn, aye.
Bill Muller, aye.
Jen Maynard, aye. November 30th, 2023. This is just a notice. We had posted the Uxbridge Police meeting that you folks went to for the opioid task force. We did not have a quorum there, so we went ahead and posted that there was no quorum. So any edits or a motion to accept that posted agenda and follow-up meetings of no quorum at the Uxbridge Police November 30th, 2023 meeting.
Yep, this is Dan. I'd like to make a motion to accept the posted meeting and the minutes thereof from November 30th, 2023.
Second?
This is Bill Muller, I'd second that.
Roll call.
Dan Finn, aye.
Bill Muller, aye.
Jen Maynard, aye. The December 4th, 2023 minutes as presented.
Yep, this is Dan Finn. I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes as presented for the December 4th, 2023 Board of Health meeting.
Second?
This is Bill Muller, I'll second that.
Roll call.
Dan Finn, aye.
Bill Muller, aye.
Jen Maynard, aye. October 4th, 2021 minutes.
Were we all there?
We were
Yes,
all there. Yes.
Yep, this is Dan. I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes of the Board of Health meeting on October 24th, 2023. That's
October
presented.
4th. Actually, October 4th, 2021.
October, right.
2021, wasn't it?
Yes.
Wow.
October 4th, 2021. Would you like to amend your motion?
I would. So it's October 24th, 2021.
October 4th, 2021.
October 4th. Wish I had my printer doesn't work. I couldn't print it out. So anyway, this is Dan. I'd like to make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from the Board of Health meeting held on October 4th, 2021 as presented.
Second.
Bill Muller, I second that.
Roll call.
Dan Finn, aye.
Bill Muller, aye.
Jen Maynard, aye. Let's see. The December 28th, 2021 minutes as presented.
This is Dan Finn. I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes of the Board of Health meeting from December 28th, 2021 as presented.
Second.
Muller, I'd like to second that.
Roll call.
Dan Finn, aye.
Bill Muller, aye.
Jen Maynard, aye. We're going to hold off on the February 10th, 2020 minutes because I was not a member then. So you need your other members for that. And we're going to modify the agenda. It should be December 28th, 2021. Karen and Austin were not at that meeting, so it was just the three of us again. Is there a motion to accept those meetings as presented?
Sure, this is Dan Finn. I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes of the Board of Health meeting from December 28th, 2021, as presented.
Second,
Bill Muller, I'd like to second that.
roll call.
Dan Finn, aye.
Bill Muller, aye.
Jen Maynard, aye. All right. Our favorite, but we got a few of them off.
Right.
Okay. Any old or new business to bring forth today? I did not see any correspondence. I'd love to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Sure, this is Dan Finn. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Bill Muller, I'd like to second that motion.
Roll call, all call.
Dan Finn, aye.
Bill Muller, aye.
Jen Maynard, aye. It's the first full Monday back after many holiday weeks, so
Right.
nice job, everyone.
Thank you.